Hi, I'm Timea Presley. Thank you for joining me today. Many of you asked me about tactile cues and how to do them, when are they appropriate, how to be careful with them. So let's talk about tactile cues in Pilates. When I first learned Pilates, which was a little over 20 years ago at this point, I lived in Europe. I lived in Germany at that time, and the concept of giving tactile cues to clients in your class were not a problem. Actually, what are tactile cues? Tactile cues mean that you go and place your hand on the client, adjust their posture and alignment just slightly to give them feedback by placing your hand on them and allow them to find better posture that way. So it means touching. I remember that many times when I taught classes, people would particularly appreciate if I gave them tactile cues, and it was the highlight of the class when I helped them to move into a stretch or assisted them into better posture. I remember walking around the class and actually making sure that every single person throughout the class received at least one tactile cue so that nobody felt left out. However, we are living in different times now, and I have to say I reduced the amount of tactile cues I give to almost zero for a variety of reasons. I feel that we are living in a time where touching another person became a sensitive issue. It can also become a legal issue if you're a Pilates instructor and you give a tactile cue and you're well-meaning. You might end up causing discomfort to this person that creates a turmoil for everyone later on legally. And I think it's better to avoid that. It's also a cultural difference between where I originally trained, which was in Germany, or at least a part of my training, and then where I live now, and how much time has passed. That maybe we are more sensitive now, and also we are more aware of what can go wrong with tactile cues. I find that even if we discuss if tactile cues are okay or not and the person agrees, I have seen scenarios where the person who gave permission to me to give tactile cues later said that there was some discomfort, and so as a result I decided that it's better for the person who takes my session and for me as well if I improve my skills in giving verbal cues rather than tactile cues. Also, my background is in dance, modern and contemporary dance, and I've worked a lot with contact improvisation. So back when I lived in my dancer days, before I 20 years ago started to seriously focus on teaching Pilates and working with Pilates, I lived in an environment where that physical contact of touching another body was very normal, but I find that the fitness world is more sensitive about this as well. From a legal and I guess client compassion point of view, it is safer these days and the better choice these days to be very cautious with the amount of tactile cues you use, and to be very, very clear if you use them that it is okay for the person that is receiving them.